Let me ask you something right now. How much of your life have you wasted worrying about things that never even happened? Be honest. How many opportunities have you missed because fear, doubt, or overthinking held you back? It's time to face a truth that can change your life. Worry is a liar. It promises you protection but delivers paralysis. It claims to keep you safe, but all it does is keep you small. You weren't born to live in a cage of anxiety. You were born to rise, to expand, to conquer the things that scare you. Worry is not a sign of responsibility. It's not intelligence. It's imagination misused. When you worry, you're using your mind against yourself, crafting a future filled with pain that doesn't even exist. And if you're not careful, you'll start living in that imaginary future and completely miss the power of what you can do right now. Winning doesn't start with luck. It doesn't start with talent. It starts with certainty. Not arrogance, not blind optimism, certainty. A decision that says, I don't know every step, but I know I'm moving forward. I may feel fear, but I won't freeze. I may fall, but I won't stay down. So how do you stop worrying? You take action. Action is the antidote to anxiety. You make a decision and move. Clarity doesn't come from sitting still and overanalyzing. It comes from engagement, from experience, from progress. Worry is passive. Winning is active. You can't think your way to confidence. You have to act your way into it. You have a choice right now. You can keep letting fear lead. You can keep postponing your dreams until someday feels safer. Or you can decide that today is the day you take your power back. You shift from what if it goes wrong to what if it goes right. You stop focusing on what could break you and start focusing on what could build you. Look, the path to success isn't a straight line. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and it's never comfortable. But here's the deal. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you're courageous. You grow when you lean into the uncertainty and say, I'll figure it out. That's the winning mindset. That's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. So the next time worry whispers in your ear, you speak back with action. When fear says, you can't, your actions say, watch me. When doubt creeps in, drown it out with progress, because every step forward weakens fear's grip and strengthens your belief. Your destiny doesn't belong to worry. It belongs to you. And if you want to start winning, you've got to stop waiting, stop doubting, stop worrying, start now, start bold, start unstoppable, because the world doesn't need more people trapped in hesitation. The world needs you fully alive, fully committed, and ready to win. Worry is one of the most deceptive forces in your life. It disguises itself as caution, as planning, as intelligence. But in truth, it's a misuse of the most powerful tool you have, your imagination. Think about it. Every time you worry, you're painting vivid pictures of things going wrong. You're creating scenarios that haven't happened and may never happen, yet your body reacts as if they're real. Your heart races, your muscles tense, your thoughts spiral. Why? Because your mind can't tell the difference between what's imagined and what's experienced when emotion is involved. And worry is just that, emotion, untamed and misdirected. You were not given a powerful imagination just to scare yourself. You were given that gift to create, to innovate, to envision something better and then make it real. But when imagination gets hijacked by fear, it no longer serves you. It controls you. Instead of projecting greatness, you start projecting failure. Instead of picturing what's possible, you obsess over what could go wrong, and this mental loop can be paralyzing. It stops people from applying for the job, from starting the business, from speaking up, from taking the leap that could change their lives. Worry robs you of the present, while threatening you with a future that hasn't even arrived. The irony is that most of the things we worry about never actually happen, and even when they do, we handle them better than we imagined, but the real damage is done in the waiting, in the hesitation, the doubt, the emotional stress. It's like running a race against a shadow. You exhaust yourself battling something that isn't even real, and while you're caught in that battle, life moves on. Opportunities pass, time slips. And worst of all, your confidence erodes because you've trained yourself to associate the unknown with pain instead of potential. But here's the truth you must own. Worry is optional, it's a pattern. And like any pattern, it can be broken. You do that by taking back control of your focus. Stop giving energy to what might break you and start focusing on what will build you. Replace what if it fails with what if it works. Begin to use your imagination as a tool for possibility rather than fear. Visualize success, not disaster. See yourself overcoming, not crumbling. The brain follows the pictures you feed it, so feed it the right ones. When you stop letting worry run wild, you reclaim your energy, your creativity, your power. You stop being a victim of your thoughts and start becoming the architect of your reality. Worry will still try to show up, but now you'll know the truth. It's just noise. And you have the volume knob. You get to decide whether that voice gets to stay or whether it gets drowned out by action, belief, and vision. You were meant to do more than survive your fears. You were meant to rise above them and lead your life with courage, not caution. Action is the antidote to anxiety. You cannot think your way out of fear. You must move your way through it. So many people believe they need to feel confident before they take action, but the truth is the opposite. Confidence comes after you move. It's a reward, not a prerequisite. If you wait for fear to disappear before taking the first step, you'll be stuck in the same place forever, because fear doesn't vanish with time, it vanishes with action. Anxiety thrives in stillness. When your body is idle and your mind is racing, fear gains momentum. You start overanalyzing, doubting, playing out worst-case scenarios. It becomes a loop, one that steals your clarity, energy, and drive. The only way to interrupt that cycle is to get into motion. Even the smallest action, the tiniest forward step, sends a message to your brain, I am not stuck, I am in control. That shift in physiology and psychology instantly weakens fear's grip. Movement breeds clarity. You may not have all the answers right now. You may not know exactly what step 5 or 10 will look like, but that's okay. When you take step 1, the next step reveals itself. Action creates feedback. It gives you real-world data, real experience, and real growth. You don't need a perfect plan to begin. You need a willingness to start. Every successful person you admire began without certainty. What they had was the decision to move and the courage to keep moving despite the unknown. The key is to stop waiting for perfect conditions. Life will never present a flawless moment. The stars won't always align. The right time is a myth. What you have is now, and the faster you act, the quicker you transform fear into power. Action is what builds momentum, and momentum is what makes you unstoppable. When you act consistently, you create results, and those results build confidence. That confidence leads to even bigger action, and the cycle continues, this time in your favor. It's also important to understand that action doesn't mean reckless leaps. It means progress. It means doing one thing today that pushes you forward, making the call, sending the email, hitting the gym, creating the content, speaking your truth. These may seem small, but over time they compound into massive change. You begin to rewire your nervous system to associate movement with strength instead of fear. Inaction is exhausting. It drains you emotionally and mentally. Action, on the other hand, energizes you. It puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. So, don't overthink it. Don't analyze it to death. Do something, anything, then keep going. The more you move, the more alive you feel. You stop being a prisoner of worry and start becoming a warrior of purpose. Anxiety cannot survive in a mind and body that is actively creating, building, and evolving. When you commit to action, you commit to freedom, and in that freedom, you find your power. Winning doesn't begin with having everything figured out. It begins with a sense of certainty and courage. Not certainty in the outcome, but certainty in yourself. So many people wait until they feel ready, but readiness is a myth. If you wait until you're 100% sure, you've waited too long. The people who win in life don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They trust themselves to figure it out as they go. That internal certainty is what separates the ones who try from the ones who triumph. You don't need to know every step before you move. What you need is the courage to take the first step with conviction. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you're more committed to your vision than your fear. It means you're willing to feel the discomfort and move forward anyway. That willingness is what opens doors, builds resilience, and creates breakthroughs. Most people think winning is about being the smartest or the most talented. It's not. Winning belongs to those who stay consistent when others quit. It belongs to those who choose progress over perfection. We're trained to believe we need everything to go right in order to succeed. But the truth is, most wins come through a long series of mistakes, missteps, and messy middle moments. The people who win aren't perfect. They're persistent. They don't crumble when things go wrong. They adapt. They don't let fear dictate their identity. They choose to lead with faith. That unwavering belief in their ability to grow, shift, and overcome is the foundation of their strength. When you adopt a mindset of certainty, you stop looking for guarantees and start creating your own outcomes. You stop asking, will this work out for me? And you start declaring, no matter what happens, I'll make it work. That's real power, that's ownership, and that shift changes everything. You start playing offense in your life instead of defense. You stop reacting and start initiating. Life responds differently when you show up with certainty and courage, but here's the key: courage must be practiced. Certainty is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows with use. Every time you take a bold step, especially when it's hard, you reinforce that belief in yourself. You become more rooted in your identity as someone who doesn't retreat in the face of fear. And that identity shapes your results. Your actions follow who you believe you are. When you see yourself as powerful, committed, and capable, you act accordingly, and that action creates winning outcomes. So don't wait for perfection. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start with what you have. Start with what you know. Start with who you are, and decide right now that you're done living small. Decide that you're going to live with courage and move with certainty, even when it's uncomfortable. Because when you do, the world opens up to meet the strength of your decision. That's how winning begins, not with guarantees, but with a choice to trust yourself and go all in.